All right, let's dive into a song you've probably heard a million times. But we're going to look at it in a whole new way. One that suggests there's a secret message hiding right there in plain sight. Yep, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. It's the anthem from The Breakfast Club, right? We know every beat, every word, and we can definitely picture this scene. But what if I told you there's more going on here than we ever realized? A, a whole lot more. The source we're exploring today puts it just like this. The whole argument is that this isn't just a music video. It's a carefully crafted puzzle, a piece of symbolism that has just sailed right over most of our heads. It's a pretty bold claim, so let's see how it all breaks down. So how do we even begin to unlock this thing? Well, our source says it all comes down to what it calls the cipher. Now, think of it like a secret decoder ring for the song. It's this symbolic language where everyday words and images actually stand for these huge, almost mythical concepts. And the very first step to cracking this code, it starts with the song's title. First up, let's get into the title's secret code. According to this theory, the words, "Don't you forget about me," aren't just a simple plea between two people. No. It's a coded message about something way bigger. We're talking cosmic forces. So the first part of this cipher is actually pretty simple. In this symbolic language, the word you isn't, well, you. You is the sun. And me represents the moon. Right away, boom, the song completely changes from a personal story into a celestial drama. And this is where it gets really interesting. The source asks us to break down the word forget. Split it into two, forget. Now, say that out loud. Forget. The argument is that this is a direct reference to Thor, the Norse god, and his hammer, a symbol of just immense destructive power, like a wrecking ball. So the title suddenly reads like a message between the sun and the moon about some kind of destructive force. Okay, so we've tackled the title. Pretty wild, right? But now for part two, decoding the chandelier. The source argues that the video's main visual, that giant, sparkling chandelier, is every bit as important as the lyrics. Let's look at this shot again. You've got Jim Kerr all alone in this massive empty room. But the theory says, ignore everything else for a second and just look up. Focus on what's hanging above him. That chandelier? It isn't just a prop. It's the key to the entire visual story. So, here it is, the crucial point. Remember how me in the title symbolizes the moon? Well, this source argues that this big, bright, ornate chandelier hanging in the darkness, it serves the exact same purpose. It's a visual stand-in for the moon. And if the chandelier is the moon, then think about what that means for the scene. The light it's casting isn't just there for dramatic effect. Symbolically, Jim Kerr is standing right in the moonlight. The whole room is literally bathed in the glow of the symbolic moon. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This sounds like a bit of a stretch for just one song, right? But the source argues this isn't some isolated case. It claims this specific type of symbolism, using a chandelier to represent a star or the moon, is actually a recurring pattern you can find all over pop culture. To back this up, the source points to other examples. For instance, in an Ed Sheeran video called Shiver, there's a broken chandelier on the floor that's supposed to be a fallen star. And get this, even in Phantom of the Opera, the famous crashing chandelier is argued to be another allegory, this time for a conflict between the sun and the moon. Okay, we've looked at the secret code in the title, and we've talked about the visual symbolism of the chandelier. So let's tie it all together. What is the grand story that the source claims is hiding inside this beloved 80s classic? When you combine everything, the decoded title being a message from the sun to the moon about a destructive force called Thorget, and the visual of a man standing in the symbolic moonlight of the chandelier, the song just completely transforms. It stops being about a simple relationship. It becomes this cosmic allegory about the sun, the moon, and a powerful, hammer-like destructive force. It definitely makes you hear the song in a totally different way. And whether you see this as a fascinating code that's finally been cracked, or just a wild theory, it forces us to ask a really compelling question. What other secrets might be hiding in plain sight in the art that we know and love? What will you find the next time you really listen?